Hey guys, it's Sam here, and welcome to a sit down video. I've not done one for a while, and considering that Liverpool's pre-season is finished, I wanted to make a video on my thoughts so far on the Arne Slot era, my thoughts on the season where I believe we'll finish, and also talking a little bit about the transfer news that has happened recently. So, starting off with pre-season, very impressed. Very impressed with how quickly we seem to be adapting to what Slot wants, and also his style of play. You've heard it from many of the different players. It is very different. Although it's similar in ways, it is very different. Under Jurgen Klopp, it was very more direct, trying to get into the opponent's half as quickly as possible. You know, not really... It wasn't really possession based. He wasn't that bothered. It was more get into the opponent's half, create chances, and try and score goals. Obviously, Slot wants that as well, but in a more different way. It's more possession based. You've heard, in the clip, is it, kill them with passes, and quite a lot of our goals during pre-season have been with quite a few passes being implemented, and also it's very quick. The pass, it's not keeping the ball for a while, it is very quick passing, moving, playing, opening up the space, because when you play like that, gaps will automatically form in the back line, because when you're playing it, the opposition are obviously all trying to follow it, and then ultimately gaps will appear, and that's what's happened so far, and it's looked very good. So, very impressed with that, very happy with how quickly everything seems to be falling into place, but it's pre-season, you can't really read too much into it. The big test is obviously on Saturday when we play Ipswich, the first actual proper first game under Arne Slot with this new playstyle, how it will work, or how it will look in an actual league game. But yeah, it really could go either way at the minute. But I'm very happy with the way it has gone so far, and very optimistic for this season. Speaking of which, I do believe that if we continue to perform and play the way we have, I do truly believe we'll have a very good chance of being within the title race and maybe winning something, maybe retaining the Carabao Cup. Who knows? But I think it's a very good opportunity. Do I feel like that will affect... that's not the right phrase. Do I feel that his first season hinders on that? No, I don't. I think realistically, because it's his first season, because things do take time, and we've had almost a decade of one manager, one voice, one play style, it's going to take a bit of time to get used to new things and new ideas and a new voice mainly. So I think the minimum expectation is just top 4. I genuinely do. That might sound a little not what's the word, ambitious enough or something, but because it's his first season, I do truly believe that I'd be happy with just retaining Champions League football. Of course, I'd love to win something, but I think for his first season, main one, retain Champions League football, and then next season, when he has more of his own players and the players that are here are more equipped with what he wants, then we can properly go on to, start going minimum expectations is winning something, But don't get me wrong, I'd love for us to win something. I'd love for us in his first season to win something, especially to be in a title race. I think that would be a very, very great first season. But City, as always, remain very, very strong and remain the favourites. Arsenal, strong. The other teams are very up in the air. You don't know what's going to happen with United or Tottenham or Chelsea or Newcastle, any of them. You're not sure what's going to happen, which is great because you can't really truly put where you think it's going to go, because it could go either way, and that's what you love about football. That's the whole point of it. But it will probably be City again, of course it probably will. But yeah, I think minimum expectation is just retain the Champions League football. To get out of that again would be a complete disaster, I think. But yeah, a lot. Salah looks sharp. Diaz, very good. The whole team really has looked really, really good and really strong, and really looking forward to the season ahead. Now, moving into the transfer aspects, some things have happened. Now, I'm recording this on Monday. It is just gone 3 o'clock, so by the time this comes out, probably 5 PM tomorrow, a lot could have happened, because that's the way Liverpool operate in the transfer market. It's never out there until something could be close. Now, saying that, Martin Zubimendi, this has been one that happened kind of out of the blue at the end of last week. It's a player decision, because countless reports have said we're willing to pay whatever. We're even willing to pay over his release clause, which is about £51 million. We're willing to pay over that. So that's not a problem. The issue is the player. Whether or not, because he's a local lad, whether or not he wants to leave or he wants to join. Now, it is very conflicting because he's in a very he's playing for his local team. It's his boyhood club. It's what he's always wanted. But he's very, very attracted to the Liverpool project, and Liverpool are offering more than what Real Sociedad are offering. So clearly his motivation isn't money, because if it was, he would have taken the Liverpool offer right away, which you can respect massively. The only thing is, this is starting to drag on a little bit longer than we'd like. Apparently we gave him to the end of the weekend, it's Monday, and we're still not leaving. He's still not given a final answer, and I feel like we can't let this drag on much longer, because there are other targets out there. I'm sure there are other names on the shortlist, and you don't want to be waiting too long, because those players could then get snapped up by other clubs, or they could be settled at their current club and then not want to leave. So you really need to start pushing him more, if we're not already, to give an answer, I think at least by Wednesday. I think if we've not heard anything by Wednesday, I think we need to leave it and go for someone else. But who knows? Like I said, whilst I'm recording this, things could have already happened. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Nothing seems to be confirmed. It's literally up in the air about what could happen. So that's kind of the only in, really. There's been some reports here and there about other players, but I don't know if they're really factual or not, or if they're just rumours. So I don't really want to go into that, because I don't know if they're true or not, so there's no point in going into it if it's complete bullshit. So, moving into the outs, the big one over the weekend was that we had agreed a deal to sell Fabio Carvalho to Brentford for $27.5 million. I can't believe we've got that much for him, to be honest. Like, I rate him. I do really rate him. I think he'll be a very, very good player. But I think it would have been stupid to not accept that. If you're negotiating with a club, and the club is willing to pay way over what I thought we'd get for him, because I thought we'd probably get maximum about 15 to 18, maybe at a push 20 million. Never did I think we'd get 27.5. I didn't think we'd get over 20, if I'm being honest. So I think it would have been stupid not to accept it. I do kind of feel sorry, because he was really... It's another one of those where the player's coming young, is really happy to join such a big club, hopes to be part of the long-term future, and within a couple of years it's just not worked. The sad reality is that happens. It happens way more than we would like, to be honest, but that is football. You either grow and you either start to take shape within the squad, or you end up basically going down the pecking order and leaving. I think he would have been a good squad player to keep around, but that, I think, would have been it. I don't think he was going to play much. And again, like I said, I think it would have been stupid not to accept 27.5 million for someone that really isn't going to play a lot of games. And it's a ridiculous amount of money for someone that really hasn't played a lot of Premier League football. He's had a very good pre-season, don't get me wrong, but he's not played a lot of Premier League football, so I really don't know to pay something like that, Brentford must see him as an important player, someone that's going to play quite a few games. So it will be very interesting to see how he copes playing in the league week in, week out, because we saw at Hull he could do it in the Championship, no problem. The Premier League is a big jump. It is. For some players it's not. Some players, they just thrive in that because they are very, very talented. It'll be very interesting to see how Carvalho copes playing week in, week out. And we have a 17.5% sell-on clause as well. Now, I also think that we negotiated a high fee because Fulham had a 20% sell-on clause. So I think that's probably why. My first guess is that Brentford didn't want to pay that much. My guess was they were probably looking in the 10 to 20 million range. But because Fulham's 20% sell-on clause, I think Richard Hughes has gone try and get as much out of Brentford as we possibly can, and they've settled at 27, which is incredible. Hopefully that can go into reinvesting in the squad. We've heard so much that money really isn't that much of an issue. There's a big sort of budget there for Liverpool this summer, but what we've heard from Slot and Hughes is that we are a club that is now only really interested in signing players that are definitely going to improve the squad. And if they don't think that they're better, or at least could be better than the current players in that position, we won't sign them. I think that's a very, very important thing to have. I think it's a really good thing to have at a club like Liverpool. We're acting like a big club now in regards to transfers. We're not just going after any random player. We are now saying we're in high demand. We're a high demand club that will only sign players that are definitely going to improve this squad, which I personally really like. The kind of issue with that some people will have is that because we're in high demand, it will take a lot of time. And as we've seen on Twitter, social media in general, these people do not have patience. They don't. And to me, I don't care. Like, I don't care if we get the business done in May or June, or if it has to go all the way to deadline day. I ain't bothered. Like, people think that signing players late in the window is panic buying. I don't really believe in that. I think you're going to have a list of players. You're going to go down that list, and eventually you're going to get to a player that maybe wasn't first choice or second choice or even third choice, but he was still on the list. So you're still interested in that player. It's just taken longer because you were after players above that player. You know, I don't really get panic buying. I think it's a stupid excuse to say, oh, he was a panic buy because it happened so late in the window. I don't agree with that. But anyway, Carvalho, don't know if it's 100% gone through yet, but I think it has, or at least it should today, I believe, or at least within the next day or two. Other outs haven't really been close. Vandenberg's future is still up in the air, so is Gomez's, so is Endo's, so is Nat Phillips, really so is Kelleher's. Really could go anyway with any of those players, and really any players in general. If we get a really good offer for a player that we still see as a first team player, but it's a really good offer, we could be tempted to take it. So who knows, anything could happen within the next few weeks, and we'll just have to wait and see what wagwan, you know, we'll have to see. But anyway, I think that is it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Atoms fall apart. Solar flares arrive. Buildings collapse. Only a few will survive.